Do you ever, sit and say to yourself, like just peep the irony that you're a former blood and most of this drama and this shit was happening with other bloods?
Man, so
because for me, it's one of the ironies of gangbanging.
Nah, man,
do
you think I don't think about that? You think my feelings don't get hurt sometimes just to think everything I did? Man, waking up in that hospital, man, with that zipper on my stomach and just loving the bloods like I did, man. My granny feeding. My grandmother owned A&A Fish Market. It was a soul food restaurant. So really her house, we called it the launch pad. We either call it the launch pad or the honeycomb hideout. That was where all the killer bees, all the damus came to my granny's house. And she would have catfish that didn't nobody eat. So she would have catfish dinner. She just throw it in the microwave. Man, we had French fries. She used to go to, back then it was, I don't know, now it's Costco and all that, but it was Big Box or something back then. It's just Costco. But she'd go get all these Tootsie Rolls and all this stuff just to feed me, right? I'm her grandson. I'm banging out of control. She just trying to keep me out the streets. But of course, all the homies, she's working 15 hours a day. So all the homies is coming over. They eating the food. I ain't tripping on no old catfish, man. Eat them Tootsie. We homies, nigga. We damus. So this is blood. Man, my family fed the bloods. We grew the bloods out of my granny's house for my generation, which was really the generation that grew the damus. The damus before us, they was in prison. The Park Hill could have been a Crip. There's a lot of Crips in Park Hill. The main war in Denver in the 90s was how many Crips was living in Park Hill and us having to go to war with them to push them out to solidify Park Hill as being a blood community. We did all that from my grandma's den, man, in living room and all my incarceration. So the fact that they started calling me a snitch and even right now, man, if I have to have armed security, it's no Crips are really tripping on me. No Crips, they know I'm not gangbanging. I haven't been a blood for over 20 years. It's mainly because of what those bloods are saying about me. I might run into some of them. That's I have to have armed security for the gang that I literally built. And it affects my psyche sometimes, but I'm not sad about it. It's whatever. And I'm not trying to act tough, but if it's war, it's war. I got to survive out here. I'm not leaving town. My kids are in Denver. My work is in Denver. I believe I'm going to be the next mayor of Denver. It's a really good chance. So I'm there, So I'm from Denver. CMG is not. It's from Inglewood. Shout out to the Inglewood CMGs. I don't have no problem with no bloods or nothing. But don't call me a snitch and put your hands on me. Hands off. That's it. That's not being tough. I'm a man before I'm anything. And that was what I was standing on, and I still stand on that. So there's an irony to it. It definitely is. But I'm here for it. It's whatever. There's a lot of ironies in my life.
Yeah, and we're going to get to a couple of more because there is a lot of ironies.
I'm here for it. What's
life.
up?
It's truly an amazing story. But after the trial and you're found innocent, went to trial, beat him, fair and square. Even during the trial, I thought it was interesting how close they had you and Hasan. When they brought him into court, they almost in a weird kind of way, it's like they thought you might, try to jump on him or something and really, really sink yourself. They was trying to use him as bait. It seemed like. It's
a lot of little things where they keep. I do feel like there's a lot of things still, especially with my campaign, where they try to bait anger out of me, because that's really my. I'm gonna be honest, man. I believe in violence if somebody's hurting you. I'm not Martin Luther King. I'm not Jesus. Keep it real with you. To read your Bible, Jesus, you see what he did with that whip? Hit somebody with a whip nowadays, you're going to get a first-degree assault like you shot him. So do I believe in unnecessary violence? No. If somebody's raping you and you stab them or you bite them, that's violence. If you have to defend yourself, I do believe in self-defense. Read your Quran. Read whatever. Read the law.
That's one of the first lessons you learn as a child.
As a child, what your mama tell you?
Put your hands on, you better hit them back.
I'm not out here punching on no one.
Right.
And nor am I tripping on everybody calling me a snitch or this or that, because I know I'm not. But when it gets to the point where I think you're going to use that to try to bring harm to me or you're attacking me, then I got to defend myself. But yeah, them bringing him that close to me, they could have did that differently. Just a lot, them calling me a snitch, a lot of things. It's not just about just attacking me. It's really about bringing anger out of me and bringing me out of character, making me assault somebody, making me look like I'm out of control or I'm emotional. And I know the tricks. I've fallen for it a couple of times too, you know. But
because you and your dad got into it on the dock as far as
yeah.
your Facebook posting.
Yeah,
You know how you was getting at the DA and everybody, and
that's why they charged me
me
with habitual criminal. And that's what I was saying to Pops, man. And you know, Pops, every time you see my Pops, if you notice, he was on my right hand side. You didn't see no big old ex-bloods or no security. You seen my 60-something-year-old dad, man. That was who my bodyguard was, my father. But well, like I was telling him, so what if I'm on Facebook? That's no reason to charge me with habitual criminal. Like, I could get on Facebook if I want. Just like I told him. I could get on Vlad TV if I want. Where's the crime in that? Now, if I'm lying, okay, produce the facts. And I don't have to lie. But I'm not committing a crime right now, especially for you to, I got attacked. We got the evidence from the DA's office. That's the police Halo camera where we got the footage from. They gave us their own footage for me to say, yeah, look, this is what happened. And my witness was like, yeah. So yeah, Pops was just concerned for me because I'm being inflammatory and insightful. They calling me snitches. I'm putting up paperwork. I'm like, yo, by this time, man, we in Nexus Lexus. We in it now. Boom, here goes so-and-so's paperwork. Other bloods are sending me paperwork. Yo, blast this on them, T. I fell off into all that. Hey, now it's a snitch war. Who's snitching? Now everybody's snitching. You know?
I was about to
I'm
say,
snitching
man,
on the snitches.
I'm glad you brought it up because even in hip hop, not snitching or no snitching has always been a hot button topic. You even have several artists who have cooperated with law enforcement to get better deals or to get out of jail. In your opinion, is law enforcement at play in hip hop, COINTELPRO? And what's your thoughts on not snitching or no snitching as well?
So I'm going to answer the first question about brothers who's in the hip hop world testifying.
Yeah.
I mean, we got different examples. So this is my thing about snitching. If you go shoot somebody and the little old lady see it, or somebody who's even the young brother, something, they ain't a blood or a crip, or they not from the outlaws or nothing, like they ain't pushing that. Yo, I'm Hussein Fatal. Like if they ain't pushing the gangster, they're a civilian. Matter of fact, why you go shoot somebody in front of this old lady anyways? Because you're dumb. Because she's a citizen. She's gonna snitch. She's not snitch. She's gonna talk about it. That's somebody's mom. Like the Italian mob knew better. The Mexican mafia knows better. But a lot of violence in the African American Latino communities come from youth mainly. It's not 40, 50-year-olds doing drive-bys. You can't even be from the Italian mafia till you in your 30s. But if you African American, by the time you 35, bro, if you doing a drive-by, it's like, sit your ass down, homie. You probably the police, homie. You 35 with these kids shooting out a car, what? So if you pushing that gangster line and you testifying, now I know there's stuff with like Cowboy and what happened with Nip and all that. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not pushing the gangster line. I'm admittedly a citizen now. So I could see, I could see his point of argument. I could see how some solid 60s and some damos, it's like, nah, bro, we don't do that. But then the same people talking crap about Cowboy, man, every gang got somebody with paperwork. Every hood they got somebody with a snitchuation. And we call it a snitchuations in Denver. There's some snitchuations. It's like, oh, he a rat. No, he ain't a rat. Well, so-and-so. So it's always some of that now. Back when I was banging, man, when I was a blood, you couldn't show up if a Crip shot you and we was at a house party and the Crip got somebody on the phone, was like, yo, that fool, I shot your homeboy. He snitched on me. And we had the evidence. You couldn't even snitch on who shot you because we getting DP. The whole party's over, fool. Like, now it's all kind of weird situations. I think if you a gang members need to I'm an anti-violence activist, but I'm gonna make a statement like, where's the real Bloods and Crips? What happened? What happened to them? Because that's who calls my phone. Not the Bloods, who's an activist. I'm a Blood and an activist. So I'm flamed up, on my red bandana, but I'm kind of doing great with the police. And it's just lightweight snitching. It's just a little bit of snitching. No. If you crippin', you crippin'. Like, do I need to explain what crippin' means? I shouldn't have to. It's not working for law enforcement. I don't think everyone working with grid is a snitch. I don't think that. I don't think that anyone who's still a Crip or Blood who's an activist is a rat. I'm just telling you to answer your question. In my mind, the reason why I had to stop gangbanging, because I take those types of things too literal. Like, if you a Damu, homie, why you even on Instagram? That's how my mind works. You on Instagram, fool? I know that's not a pistol, but just keep scrolling. Let me get out of here before I say something or get to thinking something. Because my mind was, if I was still show business, I'm not on no social media, bro. We're not working with no activists. We cooking dope. We slapping hoes. We popping brews. We probably about to go put in some work or something, homie. We gotta, somebody's in the hat. It's work to do, bruh. Or we ain't a gang. And nobody's bigger than the program. And that's why I'm not a Blood no more. That's why I left that. Cause I don't want to be, man, if it's your job to kill every snitch or slap every person upside the head, you're gonna be a busy person, man. You're gonna end up now the snitches run the community, bro. Like, you can't even press that line no more, man. You the odd man out, like literally. And that's not just in Denver. And this is no disrespect to none of the Blood or Crip gangs. They know what I'm saying. The solid ones know what I'm saying. There's so many informants now and child molesters and so many people with smut on their name. If you try to press that line, you be working. That's all you be doing all day. You have a to-do list as long as your leg, So I just think if you claim you gangbanging and you in the streets, I shouldn't have to say, man, if you working with the law, you a rat, brother. Like, or leave the gangs. African Americans, man, we are forgiving people, and we're actually a loving people. Man, there's so many examples of somebody who's not a Crip no more or Blood no more, or even if you loosely affiliated, but you going to the mosque, you going to the church, or you just doing positive things. Man, ain't nobody tripping on that. You don't have to work for the police, and that's okay. But to answer your question, if you saying you gangster and you affiliated with the law, I mean, come on, bro, you telling. I don't care if you get ran over by a car or you in a wheelchair. If you seen Lil Jimmy run you over and you used to hoop with him and you know that's him, hey, get in your wheelchair and you don't talk to the police. You do what gangsters do, or that's not what you are. So it's like, in my mind, is you or ain't you?
Right.
That's why I stay away from it, bro, because that's a lot of pressure.
Talk about how you felt when you were found not guilty for shooting Hasan. Like,
man, I was surprised. I'm gonna be honest.
You didn't think he was gonna?
I didn't know. Cause I had the pistol. I didn't know. I thought I was man. So if you look at that documentary, when I'm going down the stairs, like when I'm running look at my shoes. Pause it. I had on some Nikes. I didn't have I had my suit jacket. I was like, man, if I'm guilty, I'm guilty. I put on some Nikes because I was thinking, like, if I got found innocent, because every Blood and Crip, some of them snitches got power. Even though they're snitches, but they got nephews and little Pyrus and Damus, and they waiting for me to come in there. And this other Bloods and Crips who's like, no, it's a big war. When my name comes up in Denver, it's either love or hate. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking if I did get found guilty, they're going to put me in the tank. Because, yeah, if you guilty, fool, shoot somebody, you see the sheriff standing right behind me. Mm-hmm. There was full of sheriffs in there. So I'm thinking if I get found guilty, I'm definitely not going into the tank with my church shoes on, trying to convince some jurors I'm looking innocent who done already made their decisions made. So I threw on my Nikes. I had on my vest, but I didn't even put on my suit jacket. I'm like, whatever they say is what they say. But now I needed them Nikes to run down them stairs. I was. There's a piece of me that was surprised because it could have went either direction. Because I did shoot him. And I did hit him with the knife in the face. And it was a big deal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I had a pistol. But no, it all worked in my favor. Thank God for cameras. That was one. I'm a perfect example of your haters make you greater. So